Hey there, I'm just a guy, and these are my opinions. I'll be referring to actors and actresses by the single nomenclature of actor. I'm going to use the sexless variation of the word, plain and simple. I will not bleep or eliminate any sort of language from an actor's performance. I believe the language was written for a purpose and spoken by the actor to meet that purpose. Therefore, I refuse to, in any way, manipulate the audio and to soften, mitigate, or otherwise censor the performance. I will at every opportunity seek to advise the viewer, you, that there is swear language in the video and that you, the viewer, are wise enough to decide what is best to do for you based on your disposition as it pertains to swear words and to exercise your personal agency as it pertains to, well, changing the channel. With that said, please watch this out of earshot of any children or incorrigible populations, as there is going to be some harsh and otherwise unforgiving language at times. You have been advised, and I, having advised you, hope that we can remain friends. Actors typically are judged largely by how believable they are. An actor is the vehicle onto which the story is moved. They are the simplest means by which the story is told. And this is going to bring us to our opening question. What makes an actor good? So back to our opening question. What makes an actor good? And this question has been debated for as long as there's been acting, I suppose. But I think it ultimately comes down to a few key characteristics. And I'm going to go over those characteristics right now. Actors must commit to what they're doing. It's imperative. If they don't make me believe it, then they haven't done their job. If they, and that involves a great deal of commitment. For instance, speaking with an accent, commitment to it is paramount to how much I'm going to believe it. So when we think of speaking with an accent, the first thing that comes to mind is Johnny Depp's performance of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Good man. Good pirate. I swear you look just like him.
Fantastic example of committing to the part. He really did his homework on this part. He started with this Ringo style and then just kind of turned it into something that was not Ringo. It was not piratey. It was Jack Sparrow.
What a man can do and what a man can't do. For instance, you can accept that your father was a pirate and a good man, or you can't. The pirate is in your blood, boy, so you'll have to square with that someday.
It was amazing. It was something that Johnny Depp not only committed to, but something that he owned, and that I think added just another layer of commitment to it. Staying in the realm of accents, we're going to talk about something where the actor did not commit. And it pains me to say this because it feels like it was just such a missed opportunity. When we look at Lieutenant Aldo Raine and Brad Pitt's portrayal of him.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Raine, and I'm putting together a special team, and I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers. Now, y'all might have heard rumors about the Armada happening soon. Well, we'll be leaving a little earlier. We're gonna be dropped into France, dressed as civilians. And once we're in enemy territory, as a bushwhacking guerrilla army, we're gonna be doing one thing, and one thing only. Killing Nazis.
Whether or not you'd like to believe that Appalachia is a real place with real people and they have a real way of speaking is irrelevant. Brad Pitt, for his part, either did not believe this or he just didn't care. He thought he could use a southern drawl to convey this accent, I want to say. He was wrong. He was extremely wrong. Very little will actually offend me. This offended me. Not because it was insulting to the people of Appalachia necessarily, but because he simply did not commit to this. He aimed for what I can only call a dummied down version of the truth, hoping that no one would notice. And I have no idea what accent he was doing. I don't think he knows. He seems to be mixing accents that he heard in like John Wayne films. It's an accent that says, yeah, I've heard of the South. I've never actually been there or spoken to anyone from there, but yeah, I've heard of it. I'm sorry, did you say Kentucky? Where the heck is that? I've never heard of that place before today. He simply did not commit, which is a shame. Because when you look back at his catalog, he was kind of great about committing. Fantastic example of that is his character Mickey in Snatch. Easily, I think, one of my favorite performances of his.
How big are you? Hey, kids, how big is he? He's a big man, that's for sure.
Hey, man, come and look at the size of this fella.
Bet your back's a little, can't you, sir?
You look like a boxer.
Get out of the way, Mickey.
Get your hands out of there, you cheeky little shite. Cup of tea for the big fella. Come on.
Now, understand, this is not an Irish accent. This is not an English accent. This is a deeply idiomatic Irish accent. You don't do accents. You commit to the accent. All right. If you don't believe it, then I don't believe it. And if it's not believable, then you're just acting. You're pretending, and it shows. Now, beyond that, we consider the commitment of other actors. Most notably, I believe, Gary Oldman in True Romance.
And you get the egg roll and start to try down. I said to myself, this motherfucker, he's carrying on like he ain't got a care in the world, and who knows? Maybe he don't. Maybe this fool's such a bad motherfucker.
In The Professional.
Everyone!
Tinker Tailor Soldier's spy.
We've both spent our lives looking for the weaknesses in one another's systems.
Sid and Nancy, basically everything he's ever done in his entire career. And that's no small amount. He transforms from one to the other. You're asking yourself, wait, this is Gary Oldman who played Rosencrantz. This is Gary Oldman who played Zorg. And on and on. As actors go, he is definitely one of the most flexible in range and depth. Claire Danes, fantastic example of commitment in when she did Homeland. Absolutely amazing performance. She committed to the point that you begin to really feel that discomfort and anxiety that she's experiencing.
I'm grandiose. I think we can all agree on that. And impulse control is becoming a problem. So when I'm like this, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. If the lithium isn't working.
You're now part of her experience. And that's what makes acting an important way to convey feelings, mood, especially in the portrayal of a character that exists inside the bounds of legitimate mental illness and inside the bounds of a profession that has to hide every bit of the mental illness with the added weight of protecting the nation from terrorism. This is a pretty complex emotional task. It's a performance that is living one thing personally and presenting another thing outwardly and professionally to the world. It's a performance of a performance. Charlize Theron's terrifying commitment to Eileen Vuornos was on the screen in every moment.
Years later, I found out he died in a car accident. I was overjoyed. It was like God finally struck him down for all his evil. I loved it.
You can't tell if what she is showing you is a character or a product of the process that has left her exhausted and fragile.
Knowing you can't get away with your shit forever. Sooner or later, it's gonna catch up with you.
And that's kind of the point. Her commitment to the character really frays the edges regarding where she ends and the character begins. Overacting is what I like to call bad acting. To be more succinct, it's if acting is a conversation, then overacting is interpretive dance. When somebody like asks you for directions to the corner store.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Now, when I say overacting, you start thinking about melodrama, like soap operas and that sort of thing. It's dancing about emotions, and you don't think about world-renowned actors that we've come to know and love, and roles that we're told are groundbreaking and transformative. I'll give you an example. I'm going to take a real critically acclaimed beating on this point, but bear with me. Joker.
How dare you?
I like Joaquin. Joaquin Phoenix is a fine actor. I thought he was good in Walk the Line. I thought he was great in The Master.
That lovely girl.
I got no reason, I'm a fool.
Do you love Doris?
Yes.
Is she the love of your life?
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you with her?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Tell me why you're not with her if you love her so much.
I told her I'd come back and I never went back, and now I gotta get back to her.
Why don't you go back?
I don't know.
Why don't you go
I don't know!
Close your eyes.
It was amazing. It was a fantastic film. But now here's the thing. Joker felt forced.
You think men like Thomas Wayne ever think what it's like to be someone like me? To be somebody but themselves? They don't. They think that we'll just sit there and take it like good little boys, that we won't werewolf and go wild.
You finished?
It felt maudlin and contrived. It came off as like cringe porn at points.
You're awful, Murray.
Me? I'm awful? Oh yeah, how am I awful?
Playing my video. Inviting me on the show. You just wanted to make fun of me.
A Joker as a film is loaded down with problems on its own. Never mind the acting, the writing was lazy, and the whole thing really relied on Joaquin to carry it. I mean, perhaps I'll do an episode about this film later, but here again, I think Joaquin is a fine actor. I just think Joker had issues for him as an actor.
Content of what you said has made me hate you.
Now, every great actor has at least one film that demands something from them that they, for whatever reason, simply can't supply. It's not to say that makes them bad at their jobs, unless that is to say that they were just bad at this one. I'll give you an example. Al Pacino, fantastic actor. Brilliant actor. A real pioneer of method acting. I love Al Pacino. However, Al Pacino was absurdly terrible in Scent of a Woman.
And if you think you're preparing these minnows for manhood, you better think again. Because I say you are killing the very spirit this institution proclaims it instills. What a sham. What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today? I mean, the only class in this act is sitting next to me, and I'm here to tell you, this boy's soul is intact.
Again, it felt forced. It felt like a caricature of what that was supposed to be. Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. I know, critically acclaimed beating. I'm fine with that. Whatever.
Maybe we as officers have a responsibility to this country to see that the men and women charged with its security are trained professionals. Yes, I'm certain that I read that somewhere once.
Again, it felt forced. It felt like, oh yeah, Jack Nicholson can do anything. Nope. I can dance. I believe I can dance very well. There's a lot of people I know who come to my face and say, dude, you really shouldn't dance. It's kind of like that. And also sticking with Jack Nicholson. The Departed. Again, critically acclaimed. I get it. Whatever. it wasn't a terrible performance necessarily. It just became kind of silly and cringy and weird at points.
Point I'm making here is, Bill, I got this rat, this annoying, heat-eating fucking rat.
It became a cartoon of Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson. It was weird. It came off really weird in a couple of spots. Now you ask, what leads to overacting? And I think I kind of have a good answer for this. I believe that in spite of an actor researching and practicing and doing what they do, in spite of all that, there are some things that an actor cannot understand emotionally. Right? And they simply don't have the emotional vocabulary to express some things for one reason or another. To make up for this lack, the actor will then compensate by expounding on the emotion that they can understand. They'll embellish their performance to cover for the shortfall, to the point that the actor borders on caricature, sometimes crossing that border. To make it simple. Anger is the simplest emotion to express. And some people are terrible at understanding being sad. So when somebody feels sad, they go straight to anger because it's the simplest emotion to express. Not because they are angry, but simply because that is all the vocabulary they possess to express any other kind of actual emotion. You can only do what you're capable of. If you can't find the words for something, then you start shouting out words that you think mean the same thing, hoping on the off chance that maybe you'll say something meaningful.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Did you ever watch that one movie where the actor basically played themselves and then they did it again in that other movie? You know, the actors who are basically delivering dialogue like they're ordering food at a drive-thru. It's as though the writers wrote the characters with certain actors in mind, and then the actor was paid millions of dollars for a middling performance that anyone of lesser name could have done, maybe even probably better. George Clooney.
There is a methodology to what I do. There's a reason why it works. Cool-headed intervention. His tantrum might have ended this schmo's life and ruined his own. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Let me venture a guess. Simple G4 mainliner, back wound, quick fuse, with a drag under 20 feet.
But Bill Parrish has been on the receiving end of machinations so Machiavellian that it has rarely been my experience to encounter, and yet he's combated them stoically and selflessly. The world turns and we turn with it. Plans disappear.
Julia Roberts.
You have to admit there is a bit of a conflict of interest when you give me advice about my love life.
Why didn't you just let me wear my own
I
clothes,
did not.
okay? I mean, in my own clothes, when someone like that guy Stucky comes up to me, I can handle it.
Tommy Lee Jones.
And most of them are decent enough. They're just trying to make a living.
Cab drivers.
Not as many as you'd think.
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse in that area.
I seen you on TV.
Oh, yeah?
I even went and read your goddamn book. I'm impressed.
Oh. Surprised Hollywood ain't found you yet. Oh. Your story make a lot better movie than that Serpico shit.
And the list goes on. Now, what do all these actors have in common with these performances? It's a safe decision for casting. You know what you're getting with these actors. It's a consistent performance. The performance has a single purpose. That purpose is
because he gets on base.
To get on base. Now, does this make for bad acting? Is the woman from the insurance commercial a bad actor? She gives the same performance for hours on end. She sells the heck out of some insurance. Isn't that the function of the role she's playing? She's memorable and SAFE. But let's look more critically at it. Personally, I don't think these actors are bad. I don't personally find them remarkable either. They've been positioned in their careers to be audience lures. As in, hey, let's go see that new Clooney movie or that New Anne Hathaway trailer looks good. Darned if I know what the names of those films are, but they don't need names. They have big name actors. Clooney film. Hathaway film. Done. Brad Pitt movie. They have big name actors who, through simple association, have a built-in audience. Again, this doesn't make them bad actors. However, it does nothing to move them past being unremarkable. It's the basic equivalent of being sold the surf and turf and getting like a burger and fish sticks. I love burgers and fish sticks. I certainly would have preferred to get a steak and shrimp, especially when you've marketed it as surf and turf. Expectations get kind of lowered now. They stop being expectations and just become how it is. Maybe I just take it too personally. I don't think I do, but maybe I do. And then they start getting awards for that. Society rewards mediocrity because it makes them feel good or comfortable or righteous or whatever. A great example, Julia Roberts and Ellen Burstyn.
Why should I even make the bed or wash the dishes? I do them. But why should I? I'm alone. Your father's gone.
Ellen Burstyn, a very skilled actor, very experienced, uses the skill honed over decades of being an actor, committing to her role, completely portraying pure vulnerability.
I'm lonely. I'm old.
You got friends, Ma?
It's not the same.
And ultimately losing to Julia Roberts. And again, here is Julia Roberts being Julia Roberts in an Oscar-winning performance.
They're not. I trusted you.
I'm sorry about that.
I don't
really
need
am.
pity. I need a paycheck. And I've looked. But when you spend the past 6 years raising babies, it's real hard to convince someone to give you a job that pays worth a damn. Are you getting every word of this down, honey, or am I talking too fast for you?
Now, you can make the argument that the marketing budget for Erin Brockovich was way higher and that Requiem for a Dream was an indie made by a relative unknown at the time, but now let's look at Brad Pitt and Al Pacino. Al Pacino engaging with the other performer, deliberately considering the moment.
He lost.
I lost. You should see his ribs.
Why don't you just talk about what you need to talk about?
That's right.
Yeah. Let's get it.
What do you want me to do? I said, you people, what do you want me to do? Apologize for it?
That's exactly what I want, Jimmy, an apology.
I'll apologize for it. That's all I want. After you apologize for being late, you motherfucking wop cocksucker.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Getting in the back seat to Brad Pitt's performance as Brad Pitt.
You know, that's not my car. That's my boss's car. And if something were to happen to my boss's car, well, I'd get in trouble. Lucky for you, he's got a spare.
It was difficult to actually find a scene where Brad Pitt actually spoke for more than a minute or so, ending up with Brad Pitt delivering some dialogue as Brad Pitt, the Oscar-winning performance. For anyone who follows Academy Awards and that sort of thing, I find these sorts of awards to be self-aggrandizing monuments to the people who present them, the people who get them, and the people who establish the whole system in the first place. Now, it's at this point that we are faced with the problem of Matthew McConaughey. Quite more often than not, he falls neatly into this category. In spite of this, he has presented us with some quite arguably remarkable performances. For instance, let's take Interstellar. This entire film needs its own video, but for now, let's just consider his performance in it. So McConaughey already has a built-in audience. People love McConaughey films. Christopher Nolan, built-in audience. Anne Hathaway, built-in audience. Casey Affleck, Matt Damon, on and on. This film got amazing performances out of every single one of them. And so we're going to look at this particular scene of him watching videos from his family. The joy of seeing his son.
Grandpa attended the ceremony.
Transitioning to sadness, longing, and loneliness, and despair, all in the span of seconds. He sees his son.
I think this is the one. Name's Lois.
He sees the moments of his son becoming a young adult.
Murphy stole Grandpa's car.
He sees the moments he's missed. He sees the moments he could have had. He sees the moments he should have been there for.
Sorry, it's been a while.
And he sees the moments of his father-son relationship that he's missed. And then, all of this emotion just overwhelming him, but it's the appetizer to the main course that's about to hit him. His daughter's first recording.
Hey, Dad.
This full meal of emotion that has just
I should live with that decision, and I have.
been crammed down his throat
Today's
in the span of seconds.
when you left.
I mean, this is the kind of performance that actors dream of and then wonder if they could ever meet that. You see the dilemma that Matthew McConaughey is now presenting. He's become quite a good actor. From being a guy who is basically known for
All right. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
With a common denominator.
he's really evolved into something new and interesting. Channing Tatum. I never wanted to say those words in one sentence, but Channing Tatum has really started to transform into basically that same guy. He is, when you look at his performance in Foxcatcher, you can't imagine, what he must have been feeling, what he must have been experiencing when he was handed that. Tom Cruise has also been going in this direction, but more and more they're starting to evolve, because I think that it's the next step in that. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see how all of that shakes out. Yeah, but what do I know? I'm just a guy who comments about all this stuff. Hey, look at me. I got a face for radio or politics or whatever. I have no frame of reference for being a legit Hollywood actor. So again, what do I know? But still, I'm entitled to my opinion. And you clicked on the video, so now you get to hear it. And so that's it. That's what I have for you today. I'm sure there are 7,000 other points I could have touched on. That's what I came up with today. And this is by no means the complete metric or standard by which acting should be judged, but this is just how I see it. Let me know in the comments what you think, in addition to the critically acclaimed beating you're about to give me. But who's your favorite actor? What's your favorite acting style and why? What would you like to see from this channel in the future? And if you think I've earned it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment. Hey, be well.